semester of online teaching during the spring, but it's always either really hot or really cold. I'm so sorry. Asana knows that if we try to affect the temperature, it's going to be like a Boeing 747 trying to land in here. It is so noisy. So we can definitely turn on the heater, but you probably won't be able to hear me as well. But if we get desperate, just let me know. If you're just like freezing to death, and we'll turn on the heat. Okay. So I want to talk with you today about one of my very favorite, actually it is my most favorite, time management tool. This is called the Passion Planner. So this session today is like a mini Passion Planner 101. I'm going to introduce you to what the Passion Planner is, how it's structured, how to use it effectively so you can really benefit from it. But before I delve into the Passion Planner, I want to make sure that I have your buy-in as far as your appreciation or value of time management. So I just had a student stop by a few days ago, and I said to the student, I think you ought to come to our session on passion planning on Thursday. And the student said, I did a calendar for a while, but I don't like to write. And then I said to the student, but you got an incomplete in every single class you took last semester, because I am this person's advisor. And so, the thing is, time management has a price tag. It's kind of small, but you're going to have to think, you're going to have to commit to thinking about how you spend your time. Your tasks that you may just kind of complete on autopilot that eat up your time. And then how you're going to prioritize them and how you're going to build a picture of how you're spending your time each day and each week. So with this student, he has a lot of issues with time management, and maybe if he really thought about how he spends his time, what he's doing, then he would have completed his assignments, could have gotten some A's and some B's instead of some I's. But anyway, that's just a case in point trying to get your buy-in on valuing time management. So let me ask you a question. This originally is like a think, pair, share, Sana. This may ring a bell to you because you were in my BSCS 100 class, and I did a segment on time management. So you can think, pair, share about this if you want, or just kind of do this individually. Think about if the skies opened and the time God waved his magic wand and turned our 24-hour days into 25-hour days, giving us an extra hour each day, what would you do with that extra hour of time? So, anyway, I said give three examples of things you would do, but you can just give me one if you want, or three. But what would you do? Yes.
I would sleep.
Okay, I knew it.
Rest is so important. I need it so bad.
Yes.
I would spend time with my family.
Okay.
And contribute it to working out.
Awesome. Okay. So you've got the essentials as well as the I want to improve myself, my health. Awesome. Okay. Anybody else? Yes, Sana.
Do more homework, I guess.
Okay. Right. Yeah. Now, why would you choose that? Just out of curiosity.
Because, I know I do my work, but I should study more.
Okay. Is it that you don't have enough time during the week to study?
I do. I just don't. I'm lazy. I don't know.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. And maybe it seems like you really don't, right? Because you've got so many things going on. I have a vintage jewelry business I've had for 18 years. I was in college, or in grad school, and I started it. It helped me make my grocery money each month. And I still have it. And I would probably spend my hour on the marketing, taking photos, selling my jewelry, because it's really last on the list of priorities, so never quite get there because I got too much other stuff I'm doing. Anybody else? Yes.
I would take and make priorities of doing things for my house.
Okay. Like house cleaning or like home improvement?
Both.
Okay. Okay. What about y'all? John, Blake?
Spend more time outside.
Okay, spending more outside time. Is this kind of a hard question to answer? Is this hard for you? Okay, it is. So I'm thinking, and I knew that some of you would have a hard time with it. And so that indicates to me, could be a couple things. Maybe you're new to the college environment, so public speaking, sharing your ideas is a little uncomfortable. Or it could be that maybe you haven't really thought about, what are my goals? What would I spend my time doing? Like, what do I need or want to get done each day? Okay? So that's just an example. Let that be like a little light bulb moment that you really need to be thinking about your own thinking when it comes to time. I call it metacognition. Thinking about our own thinking. So like every 15 minutes, I train myself, am I doing what I'm supposed to be doing? Am I focused on what I'm supposed to be focused on? Because I have ADHD. And that's a little bit, we could use it, all of us, regardless, It helps keep us honest and clean and focused on what it is we're doing. All right. Let me ask you a quick question. Now, we have 24 hours in a day. If we're healthy, we're breathing, and we're alive, okay? We have something in common with every human that's ever lived on Earth and every human that is living now when it comes to time. What is that when it comes to time? Doesn't matter our race, ethnicity, sexual orientation, religion, educational level, socioeconomic level. It is like the great equalizer. We all have what? Yes, we do. Yes, we do. We have 168 hours a week. Now, there's not much in life. There aren't many circumstances in which human beings have equal amounts of something, right? But we do this. As soon as you're born, as long as you're alive, you have the same amount of time as everyone else. So that's what's deposited into our time bank every week. That's the resource we have, the amount of resource we have. You can think of an hour as like a time coin, a time increment. We have 168 of them each week, all right? So let me ask you this, keeping that in mind, do you have enough time each week? I do. I'm gonna answer first. Oh, and let me do something real quickly. Let me up the ante. Let me sweeten it up. I got Kit Kats, I got Tootsie Roll Pops, I got Skittles. So whether you like chocolate or, because lately I hear all this stuff about Kit Kats, like everybody loves some Kit Kats. So anyway, so volunteer now. Do you have enough time each week?
I feel like I do, but I don't know how to make it.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah. So you think there's a possibility that if you painted a more complete structured picture of your time management, that you would have, everybody else, come on.
I don't have enough time.
You don't have enough time, why do you feel that way?
Because Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, I'm in class from 8 o'clock until after 4:30.
Okay.
And then Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and Mondays, I'm at work from 6:30 until after 4:30.
So are you able to get done everything that you think you need to do during the week?
Sometimes, not really.
Okay.
I just feel overwhelmed.
Well, have some chocolate and So, what do you all think? Do you feel like you have enough time?
I think they do.
Oh, you do.
So what she said, I do, but I don't manage well.
Yeah. So you think there's good potential to get done everything you need to, but maybe, okay, gotcha. What about you?
I think time and energy are different. So sometimes I feel like I have to do things, but I'm just so tired that I can't.
Really do it. Okay. Which also, the way you manage your time, maybe you, like this young woman, maybe you would need more rest. Maybe you need to rearrange, reprioritize. getting exercise, changing diet, whatever. That can fit into the time management proposal. If you want something even for later, like Skittles, I got chocolate, and I'm headed over to the other table. You're welcome. So, the last three. Do you feel like you have enough time?
Sometimes.
Sometimes.
Sometimes
Okay.
I do.
Okay, but why do you think it varies?
It is my school schedule.
Yeah.
Once I get home, I want to sleep cold time.
Right, okay. So the demands on your time. Kit Kats will give you some energy. But the demands on your time, okay.
Mine is about the same, Sarah has two different things, so we're from outside job.
Okay. Okay, so you help out at home, you've got somebody to take care of, you also do sports, you've got jobs, a lot of commitments. What about you?
I think I do have enough time, I just
Okay.
don't use it wisely.
Okay, it's okay. Maybe you just, are you on autopilot ever? Do you feel like, okay, I'm just gonna take the day as it comes, no, gotta do this, just mentally, I'm just gonna go through the day and hope for the best, right? Okay. That's a good way to burn yourself out pretty quickly, okay? Which is, where I I lasted a long time through. I actually made it through college. It wasn't until I was in my second stint in graduate school, I'll talk about that in a few minutes, when I thought, okay, my back's against the wall, they've stretched me, they've given me more than I can humanly do, and that's when I found the passion planner. Okay. So, you all have answered a lot of these questions. Let me just out of curiosity ask you this one. How many hours a week do you commute to work? Or to school? School and work, both of them?
168.
Oh, yeah, right. Where do you live? Do you live in Mercer County?
Yes, I live in Princeton.
Okay. Well, I didn't realize until I prepared for the BSCS 100 class. Like I had it on my planner, so I would know what time to get up every morning. I wouldn't even know if I didn't have my planner, okay, my passion planner. Like I have to look at it every night before I have to go to the passion planner to be like, okay, let me conceptualize tomorrow, you know. But I hadn't really thought about, was it metacognitive about how much time weekly, how much of that 168 hours do I use to get to work and back home? Not including doing my job in other counties, which is student teacher supervision. I'm on the road 10 hours a week, but just across 5 days, just to get to and from work. I'm only here like 8 hours a day. That's more than one work day that I'm commuting. This semester, I commute 14 hours a week. That's huge. So I also have asked myself, you know, how many hours a week do I work? 55 hours. So I work all day Sunday every week. I grade every night. It's very intense to be a professor. So what I can do is, once I realized that last semester, Sana, when we did this, what I'm going to have you all do in a minute, a time expenditure survey, I was like, holy moly. I've begun to actually practice lectures, discussions, brainstorming aloud while I drive, okay? Because I can talk, I can talk. And, you know, I can talk to myself and drive safely, simultaneously. So you might want to think about multitasking. But if you're not fully aware of what it is that you are responsible for doing or want to do or need to do each week, you're not going to be able to multitask. You need to look at this very objectively. So I shaved some time off, 10 hours off of my 55 hours a week because I multitask while I drive. It inspired me as a professor. This is something to think about. I get all of my textbooks each semester through Pearson. I teach 5 unique classes, standalone classes every semester. So for the first time ever, I asked our school bookstore to order ebooks, okay? So basically my students can rent internet access to a ebook for a semester online. Well, most of the publishers have text to voice. So while you're driving, while you're doing laundry, while you're cooking, whatever you're doing, you can just push play, and you will have your assigned chapter read aloud to you. So you could do the same thing. So there are all kinds of things that you need to be thinking about as far as maximizing your efficiency. You may not have the luxury of sitting down and reading. That could be exhausting. Back there, you said you're just worn out. Why not listen to it while you're doing something else? Okay, so just some things to think about. Here, I'll just put the down arrow. Okay, so what we're gonna do, I've been describing being metacognitive, being aware of what you do each week. You have to be aware of it. You can't plan what you're not sure of, and that's why I think some people had trouble figuring out how to answer how to talk about what they do an extra hour each day. I don't know, I just kind of go through life. I'm not quite sure what I do or what I would even want to do with an extra hour. So I'm gonna have you complete a personal time survey. And what I'm gonna do, we're gonna do this individually. Thank you. Is if you need a pen, I have pens.
I do too.
Okay, awesome. Okay, so I'm gonna lead you through this. I'm gonna do it with you. It's a fill in the blank. And of course, let me show you. Your responses are gonna be a lot different from mine, right? That's okay. As I go through it, you just put whatever applies to your life situation, you put in the blank, and I'll put mine in the blank, okay? This survey is a little tricky to tabulate, okay? That's why I want to do it with you. It's like guided activity. All right. So 168 hours, just follow with me. You can look at the smartboard. 168 hours is what we have every week. Now, if it's hard for you to figure out, well, I don't know how much time a week, you think about it in 24 hours. Okay, I do know how much time I commute one day on average. Just multiply that times 5 or 7 and you'll come up with a weekly amount. So the first one, A, how many hours are you in class each week? Okay. This includes give an hour for online classes. So how much time are you physically in class or at the computer accessing materials? Give yourself an hour each week for each online class, however much time. Don't worry about increments of hours. If you're doing something in an hour and 20 minutes, round it up to 2 hours. Let's deal in whole hour amounts, okay? Just relax, we got time. Okay, so just we're gonna go ahead and move on because we got the time a ticking here. So just think about, if you have 3 online classes, it'd be 3 hours. If you got 2 other ones on campus, then 3, 4, 5, like 6 hours. Doesn't have to be exact. Let's just get you thinking. Job and work. Okay, job and work. Under this one, I want you to think about 2 things. Your paid job, okay? How many hours a week you work there. But I also want you to think about classwork. I think the rule of thumb is for every credit hour, I think it's 3 hours of classwork, which is 30 hours a week. No, 45 hours a week if you're taking 15 hours.
That's a
right?
job.
It is a whole job. It sure is. It sure is. Okay? It sure is. So think about the number of hours you're taking this semester, multiply that times 3. Okay? And then whatever work hours you've got.
Do you want to include housework?
No.
Okay.
Nope. Just classwork and employment. Okay? Paid work. Because under other at the bottom we can do housework. Okay. Now I'm going to kind of speed it up a little bit. socializing, hanging out, texting, dating. I live for the 1 or 2 hours that I can watch Dateline 2020 for 48 hours. Okay, so I get my 2 hours. 2 hours a night, so I'm gonna put 10. No, and then I'm gonna put 14. But think about that. Any kind of leisure, think about when you pull the plug and you can just kind of like, woo, just relax. How many hours a week can you do that?
So sometimes I still see out of other categories.
Okay, go ahead and move on if you can. Commuting, transportation time. Think about that each week. Oops. That would be commuting to and from work and to and from Bluefield State College. Okay, so where do you live? Even if it just takes you 10 minutes each way, just go ahead and add that up as round up to an hour maybe. Okay. E is a little embarrassing for me because I read an article and I remember years ago when I was applying for my first position as a professor, this one place, I think they were afraid they were going to get sued or something because there was this disclaimer on the employment application that said that it was like the least sedentary job was higher ed, professor positions, and I was like, oh good Lord, and they were right. I'd say like a 0, and I'm embarrassed. So, but hopefully yours isn't a 0. Okay. How much time to exercise? If you play 2 sports, you're definitely gonna have some numbers there. You can think about the one below that, extracurricular activities, like if you're in any clubs, something you might do with your church. Then there's family responsibilities. That's where our house cleaning comes in. Yeah, cooking, shopping, cleaning.
But it won't be a lot less than 7 days. Oh, geez.
Then you can think about sleeping. How many hours a day do you sleep?
Oh. Eating is way a day.
And personal hygiene. That's like, taking your shower, putting your makeup on, putting your hair product in, whatever you do to get ready. Oh, I forgot about eating. Eating. Okay. I definitely multitask while I eat. And then if there's anything else that's like a must do every week, several times a week, even if you just do it once, definitely put that down. You can put several down. Anything that's a must do.
Work out every day, you don't have to breathe every day.
Now, once you have everything, I want you to add them all together, okay? If you're not sure, you don't have to spin your wheels worrying too much about these numbers, because you can go back, you're gonna take this home, it's yours to keep, and you can redo it if you want. And it changes, as our lives change and our responsibilities change, your numbers, what you have there, are gonna change. So go ahead, add everything up, you can use your smartphone.
Dr. Banks, I'm over the
Uh-huh, yeah, I'm gonna talk about that one.
Okay.
Just. Cause Dr. Banks
way
is
over.
too.
Oh.
Yeah,
Oh, boy.
yeah,
That's where
So-
multitasking comes in.
yeah, I'm over as well, right? That's why I talk to myself when I drive. Okay, I do other things too. I grade while I'm eating. I never take a lunch break at work. So I'm gonna leave no later than 6 each night, okay? So how many people, well, that's okay, I'm gonna wait, a few other ones, just adding up. What I want you to do for those who already have your total, go ahead and subtract 168 from it, or vice versa. Maybe you don't have maybe you have less than 168. But I want to see how much do you have in excess or a deficit. See what I'm saying? So in my case, I don't have enough time, so I'm going to take 168 from mine. I'm in the hole 17 hours, okay? I'm missing.
I'm missing half the day. Well, half the day.
Which, okay. Does everybody have a total now? Y'all have a total? Everybody have a total, okay. I'm in the hole, 17 hours, I do not have enough time. So, time God, wait a minute. Or I need to be really careful. I need to kind of replan, I need to see, is there any way I can combine, right? Is there any way I can combine? Yes, I can travel as well as talk and brainstorm and work through things. Yes, while I'm eating, I never take a lunch break here, I never go anywhere, I bring my lunch, I'm continuing to work, I'm eating, I'm grading, things like that. I've had to cut down on my extracurricular activities. I chair a committee locally, and I've had to kind of cut back on that. Socializing, I often multitask, and I'm like doing something while I'm watching my 48 hours. So you might want to think about that, but you wouldn't know how to multitask unless you did this and thought, oh my gosh, these are all my tasks. I have to get creative, because look at this. Well, first of all, how many have enough time? Is there anybody that's over? Okay. Is there anybody that's under? Only 2 of us, because there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and only 2, so there were 12. It's like 1/6 of us, roughly, have enough time. That is, how much time do you have left over? How much free time do you have left over? What was the number that, I have a 0. What do you have? You broke even. What do you have? I had 2. Okay, so this is divided by 7. Like whatever you divide by 7, that's how much time you have for studying. Oh Lord, that's not a lot, is it? It's not a lot. So we are very busy at Bluefield State College because we have a lot of non-traditional students. I was a non-traditional student. I worked 3 jobs. I had 3 kids. I was a single mom, and one of my kids had profound disability. So I was getting up at 2 a.m. to do my reading, and then I'd go to bed at 5, and I'd get up again at 7, and get everybody ready to go to school and work and everything. So You have to be creative. Was this enlightening?
No.
I didn't say did it make you happy. I said is this enlightening?
Yes.
Do you see why time management is so critical? We're not just gonna give you a $40 passion planner and say just go for it and cut you loose, because I don't want you to end up having it like in a cabinet somewhere, and then 3 years from now your little cousin or like little sister or sister's child comes over and she uses it as a coloring book. We don't want that, okay?
She can have
What
mine.
she uses it. There is nothing like it. All right. I think you get the gist of it. I think you get where I'm coming with this. Before we delve in, because I know time's ticking, we got 22 minutes left. I'm gonna give you some general tips, okay, for time management here, because I want you to be super duper successful. College is hard. This is the hardest thing, is just making sure we get everything done. It's like whack-a-mole. It is like whack-a-mole. You ever played whack-a-mole? As soon as you get something done, then a little head pops up. It's like playing the bongos, trying to keep all the forest fires out. But you can do it with less stress, okay? If you manage your time. Write everything down. Make lists. I would not be here today if I weren't a list maker. And I prioritize things. I have things that I really don't want to do that maybe I don't have to do immediately. I call them the ugly frogs. And I make myself eat an ugly frog at least once a week. I literally have an ugly frog list. Use your phone for good, okay? So there are all kinds of things. You use your timer. Use your timer. This is one of the most important things I can tell you, okay? When I'm a researcher, I've written textbooks, and it's very alarming to me that I don't have enough time to get my studying done, because my study is research, is doing research. So I have to look at existing research and figure out what's my study question going to be, what's my hypothesis, all that. Okay, in addition to teaching, that's what I do. My time management sheet or whatever, inventory tells me I don't have enough time to do that, but I gotta make it happen. This was my life. For the 5-6 years I was a PhD student. This is when I discovered the passion planner. It was on, okay? Like I had to make it happen. So what I did before I knew about passion planner, I made my own template. I tore my days down into 30-minute increments. I was doing that. And then one of my professor friends said, hey, I discovered this really cool time management tool. It's called Passion Planner. And she did like a little seminar like I'm doing. And I was like, oh my God, I took what I was filling out. I was doing a homemade passion planner. That's what I was like every day. You don't have to do that. Your passion planner is your calendar plus so much more. So the passion planner breaks down your days into 30-minute increments, okay? So you can see everything, all of your time bank, all those coins in the time bank. So you can use that. But also, with the phone, what I learned was there are timers. Your smartphone has a timer, like every phone pretty much has a timer. And I would need to look up some research, just like you might. Okay, if you're writing a paper for Dr. Monhead or West Virginia Industry or whatever it is. You don't want to just allow yourself the luxury of getting stuck for 2 hours Googling. You need to find an article on the Institution of Coal Industry in West Virginia. Give yourself 15 minutes to do it, tops. Like you need to figure out how much time. I'll give myself 10 minutes most of the time myself. Otherwise, you're going to jump down in a rabbit hole. An hour's going to go by. You don't have an hour, okay, to waste on that. So you have to prioritize. You have to break down what you've got to do in college. Okay? I do too, because I fell into a lot of rabbit holes that cost me a lot of time. Stick to a routine. Know what you need to do every day and every week, and how much time. Does it really take you that much time to do a particular task? Really? Can you be more efficient in any way? Be healthy. Do work out, go to the gym. I know that if you had extra time, you said you would do that. Be healthy, because like you said back there, you're exhausted, right? You have enough time, but it's like, do I have enough energy? So it's an important considerations. Stay organized, checklists of your friends, check off the major homework tasks. It'll make you feel empowered. You can see what you're getting done. And find a balance. Don't be alone, okay? Don't be alone in this journey through college. Reach out to others. That's what's beautiful about Bluefield State College. We now have cohorts. In my school here, School of Education, we've had cohorts for some time. But we want you to start off with a group of people. Remember in BSCS 100, we talked about that? Regardless of what your major is, you move through each semester together. So you build a network of support. All right, does everybody have a passion planner?
Yes.
All righty. Okay. Rebecca? That's okay. Absolutely get through this. I'm going to give you a handout. I want you to open your passion planner. I want you to smell it because it's real leather. It's real leather. This sets me back about $45 a year. Okay? It's real leather. It's real expensive.
Thank you.
But y'all get one for free. BSCS is awesome because, or BSC and BSCS. BSC is awesome, Bluefield State College, because believe me, University of North Carolina never gave me one of these. Okay? But we give you one of these. This is amazing. You're welcome to look through it for just a second. Go ahead while I'm talking. Look through it.
It's probably the best tip I got this year.
Yeah, awesome. Okay. Let me show you what mine looks like, okay? This one was from 2018. As you can see, it hadn't changed a whole lot. It looks a lot like yours, okay? Holds up well. Look at that. Holds up. This is my whiteout. But other than that, the binding's intact. Okay. This is really funny. I'm going to show you two things in my passion planner, if I can find them. I'm going to show you the nice view of my passion planner. I wish I could, I think I can zoom it. See, I wish I could figure out how to zoom it out so you can see all of it, but that's okay. I'll just kind of move it around. This is the neat view. Now, I looked all through the passion planner and I could not find a blank week. I didn't want to show you just all my different weeks because I got a lot of confidential info in there. I knew students wouldn't appreciate me showing their full names. So I did find a typical week. It's the real look of my passion planner. In the beginning, I always make it look real neat. Okay, so it would look like this. The only week that I didn't have written in was Christmas week. So I did this to show you, this wasn't an actual week, but to show you the kind of stuff I have in there. Passion planner on your handout toward the bottom. I think I have hashtag PashFam. There's a cult following for passion planners, a cult following. Go to the website, go to Twitter, go to Facebook, go to Instagram, because PashFam, that hashtag, you'll find all kinds of videos for free on YouTube on how to use this. What looks different about mine versus a regular calendar? Right off the bat.
Color coded.
It's color coded. Look, it's blocked. I call this time blocking or color blocking. So if I teach my class, so all my classes that I teach are in yellow. I'm little and I'm kind of nervous, so I'm like a mouse. My metabolism's high. I need to eat every few hours, okay? So I build in my pink food times, snacks, lunch, okay? Actually walking my dog there, so put that in pink as well. And teaching is in yellow. Grading is a big part of what I do because I'm all about giving good feedback to students. So that's green. And as you can see, Sunday is like I work really hard on Sunday. I work all these hours. Okay. Also make a little list. And if I know that I've got an appointment or I'm going to grade a certain amount of time, I don't just put grading at 7 p.m. I go ahead and mark out exactly how much time I'm prioritizing for that task. Just like on your iPhone or your smartphone. I'm going to look at this little research article on Google for 10 minutes, but I'm not going to jump in a rabbit hole and make it 2 hours. You have to figure out exactly how much time you're gonna give up, because we know we don't have enough of it, based on the inventory we took. This is blocking. Now, I highly recommend, okay, you get your highlighters, you gel pens, use fine tipped markers, and to spearhead that, go ahead and take 2 markers of your choice. I'll give to you gel pens. Figure out. These are fine tips. You can get, I get all of my stuff at Dollar Tree, okay? Dollar Tree has the best. Yes, it is. And let me tell you, they have fine tip. Look for 0.7. You can jot that down. 0.7 is what you're aiming for. Because you want to look at this. You want to be able to see it. You want to be smushed in there. So use a fine tip marker and use color. All right? Now let me show you the real view. By the end of the year, when I'm really working in here, this is what it looks like. Okay? It's messy, but I don't care. I still have my color, right? I highlight stuff. I check it off as I finish it. So it's like a built-in checklist. I check it off because it makes me feel like I have control over my destiny. Yes, I have finished this, and this, and this, and I got 3 things left to check off. But I still do the blocking. It's a big part of what I do. So I know I'm going to work from 1:30 to 2, or that's 6:30 to 7. I'm going to block that entire bit off. And it just, like, visually, it helps you see, wow, you know, this is how much time. I'm not just going to put that I'm going to do it, but it really helps me conceptualize, this is how much time I'm committing to this particular task. Now, let me show you the rest. You go back to my neater view because it's easier for you to see. Let me show you the components. So you've got the week, okay? This week's focus, food for thought, good things that are going to happen or about to happen or did happen after I wrap up my week. A personal to-do list, I'm all about lists, okay? A work to-do list, there's space for that. Thinking ahead. Okay, so I wrote a $3 million grant proposal last year that was real stressful. I do graphic organizers, kind of sketch out exactly what I need to do. So this is my grant, I had to reach out to people, I had to meet with somebody, and I had to contact people, okay? What I want you to do when you get yours now is look at what we just handed you. Let me find mine. Do we have any leftover? Yes.
Brain drain.
Yes. So we have 10 minutes left.
The brain drain.
We got 10 minutes. Now, the Passion Planner is one-stop shop. It is so much more than a calendar because it allows you to block out stuff, block out your time. But it also helps you prioritize where you're headed, like what you have to do. Not everything is equally as critical. And then what are your long-term goals? My Passion Planner helps remind me that I need to be doing research as well as teaching. So I'm going to have to find time to touch my research every week. It keeps me honest. It will keep you honest. If you've got a big project, if you're a teacher ed person, candidate, and you have a big unit plan, you don't want to be doing that unit plan the night before it's due, or the weekend that it's due. You want to be doing it 4 weeks before it's due. So it will help you think about taking your large assignments and your large responsibilities and cutting them down, breaking them apart into smaller, doable chunks. All right, so it's structured. All you have to do with Passion Planner is fill in the blanks. It's scaffolded. Again, you break down those big goals into doable tasks. It leads you in prioritizing tasks as well. My Passion Planner is not going to look the same as yours. Even by the end of the semester, mine looks real messy, but it applies to my set of circumstances, and it's quick. Honest to goodness, you could spend 3 hours a day on this thing, or you could spend 5 minutes. Honestly, I only spend about 5 minutes a day. I visit it longer amounts of time on the weekend when I have it, have the extra time, but I don't spend much time, during the day, but it probably takes 5 minutes. It's tangible. You can check things off, you can color through things, we can put stickers on things that you've completed. It has a goal setting area. So there is a passion roadmap that I highly recommend you do at your leisure. You don't have to do it right away. This is kind of like what we were talking about. Wish list with a place for a date. Lifetime, you can see I'm gonna publish. Gotta gather, organize my stuff, okay, before I can publish. That's my lifetime goal. 3 years out, what do I wanna do? 1 year out, 3 months out, okay? So the most important thing going on in my life in 2018-19 was to get a $3 million grant for families addicted to opioids who are about to lose their kids. It's $3 million the federal government would give, okay, to somebody, grant recipient, to a community, and I wanted it for Mercer County. So I took that as my critical passion of the year, and I broke it down into even smaller parts, okay? It might be for you. I just want to get through the semester. What do I need to do, okay? But you can break it down. All right, get through the day, right? Dreaming ahead. There's places like I showed you. Here you go. Space of infinite possibility. Monthly reflection at the end of your month. End of each month, beginning of each month, it's like, oops. You're gonna see the month at a glance. I fill in everything here. Then I go to the days. I do it as soon as I get to Bluefield State College every semester, and I get the dates, exams, and spring break and all that. I fill it in, all my months, and then I go and fill it in my must-dos for every week in the semester. Okay. Inspirational weekly quotes. This is cool. My favorite quote I put at the bottom of yours. Temptation leans on the doorbell, but opportunity may only knock once. And that's what I wanted to say to the student who got all incomplete last semester. Take your 5 minutes a day, for Pete's sake, and fill in your planner, okay? Because you may miss out on the opportunity for a good education if you don't. And you may not get another opportunity to come to Bluefield State College. And it's an awesome place. Daily appointment calendar. This is the heart and soul. This is the heartbeat of your life. You're going to paint your picture. Let me show my nicer view. You're going to create your puzzle, okay, or all the pieces. You're going to create your landscape of life. All of these are my pieces. This is what I'm doing. This is my life. I'm living. Okay, this is my life. It's what I do. It's your life. Journaling and sketching, one of my favorite things. And I know we've only got 5 minutes left, but I'm on a lot of committees, got a lot of meetings. If you'll notice in the very back, you have pages, blank pages. I don't know if you can see this, but they're little dots. It's like you could draw little squares. It kind of helps you to, see if it'll focus. Now I've messed it. There we go. Helps you to, instead of lines, they have this so that in case you need to kind of do little graphic things, you can. But then beyond that, oh, wait a minute. That was, yeah, here's still some, see the little dots? Actually, I was showing you the pages with no dots. So we've got dots, just like sketch paper, and then we've got dot-free, just plain. Okay, so lots and lots of paper for journaling. And then you, I'm terrible, let's see, I should have had like little name tags or something, but what is your name? Okay, you discovered right away. You discovered the sleeve in the back. You're like putting things in there. I've had a passport in there. I've had all kinds of important things in there. But that's where you can stick things. And I've got 3 minutes. That's all I need to explain to you. This is what I recommend. All right? The backward approach to using your passion planner. Don't get bogged down by doing all those graphical measures at the front, because you need this right away. I'm going to be using like this tonight. So gather your supplies. You've got pens, you've got some gel pens. You've got a worksheet that shows you, okay, I gotta work, I gotta do this, I gotta help me put over for homework, I've gotta take care of a family member, I've got sports practice, all those things you spend your night on, your week on. Complete that, put that time block it in your calendar, so work with your week, okay? All those must-dos, go ahead and put them in, and see if you have any leftover time. And then you want to journal your tasks. If you want to write little notes like, okay, I'm going to be teaching. Oh, I got to remember, like, I took this supply, do this. That would be my journaling. But if you've got to, go to practice, oh, I got to remember, I got to take these 4 things. Or whatever it is, you can have this lines under the little time areas. Identify free time slots, those things that you'd like to get done. Student appointments, I let everybody know every week, I've got 10 time slots or 12 time slots available where they are. So if somebody contacts me, I know when I can meet with them. And then after you do your 1 through 6, then you can kind of relax in weeks to come and do your 7 through 10, where you're filling in and dreaming ahead, kind of prioritizing what you want to do long term. Okay? Then there's the website. Any questions about any of this? We've got 1 minute left, but if you want to take longer, are there any questions you have? You gonna try it?
Yes,
Okay.
everybody.
I highly recommend you just Google as well how to use Passion Planner on YouTube. Just go to the YouTube search line, how to use my Passion Planner. And 50 videotapes will come up. You choose what you want to do. Okay, there are all kinds of variations. You'll love this. This will be like your bestie. You'll take it everywhere. Okay?
Well, thank you so much,
You're
Dr.
welcome.
Bates.
Thank you. You're very welcome.